You
Oh, we live.
Yeah, we live. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we're back at it again. After just finishing off a controversial greatest Mania matches of all time. Discord. I'm still upset about that. Discourse. After getting off a controversial episode, also getting off an episode where Has almost killed Juju.
brother.
We're now back at it because, like I've said the past few weeks, it is WrestleMania season. And we're 1 week away from WrestleMania, which means we have a full card. And it's our time to give you our thoughts, our predictions, and how we would fantasy book before or after WrestleMania going into Raw and SmackDown to see how things could play out. Now, I've done this for the past couple years, and we've done pretty all right. Done pretty all right with it. So, this is continuing our conversation from the beginning of the WrestleMania episode, or the greatest matches of WrestleMania, which is now live on YouTube and Spotify. So go check that out, please. Like, subscribe, do the whole damn thing. And if you don't, Juju's gonna tell your mom. So,
Fuck
to
y'all
continue
up.
to get on the conversation of WrestleMania, how do we feel on a scale of 1 to 10? How do we feel about the build?
For what? The whole Mania?
The whole Mania. How are we feeling about the whole build to it?
For me, I'm gonna give it. I'm gonna give it at least a 6 or 7.
Do we say it's a better build than last year's Mania?
Fuck no.
No.
Do we sit here and say that Bald Levesque is wrong with his prediction of saying 41 is going to be bigger than 40?
I mean,
I would say not completely, depending on what happens the night of.
Right. It was like what I was saying yesterday. Like I don't know, man. It's something about these matches that being booked the way they was booked on a WrestleMania, knowing that they could have been done on a Raw or a SmackDown. Something. I got a gut feel. Something finna happen, man. Something finna happen that's gonna make us go, yo, what the fuck? What the entire fuck just happened?
But again, it goes back to that conversation of how many times is Triple H going to do that? How many times is Triple H going to book mediocrity or give us lackluster booking to a major show and then hit us with like a big surprise at the big show? Like, how many times is he going to do that? How many times is he going to go that route? And it's going to dry out before, like, every time he's going to keep doing it. You overdo it, the less likely it's going to be more of a surprise, because that's what the fans are going to expect. Oh, right. Triple H is going to plan something big. We know it. That's literally every almost PLE. Oh, something big's going to happen at the Rumble. It did. Something big's going to happen at the Chamber. It did, but the build to it was fucking ass.
Yeah.
So for us to look at WrestleMania this year, the card, I've said it since I texted y'all, outside of the 4 major matches that have been literally overbooked to shit, this is nothing but a glorified super show. That's it.
Honestly, in my opinion, I think, honestly, Elimination Chamber didn't go how it go because of Cody. Cody was supposed to turn heel.
Are you reading? Wait. Are you saying he was supposed to go heel? Did you get that from Meltzer?
No.
Because I don't think Cody was supposed to turn heel at all.
No, he wasn't supposed to turn heel at all.
But I think what could have fucked everything up, and I'm going to say this, I don't care who I offend, and no, it's not forced hate. I think everything got fucked up because Jey Uso won the Rumble. And I'm going to be dead honest because looking back at it, we got guys that are injured like Bronson Reed. We have Ilya Dragunov, who I thought should have been the one to face Gunther at this year's Mania. Because I feel like that's the way he was going to be booked. And the fact that they kept... Yeah, but that's the thing. They kept teasing Ilya and Gunther. They kept dropping seeds. But Ilya got hurt. So it was like, well, shit, that's probably next year's Mania. But the thing is, I feel like Jey Uso winning the Rumble caused a whole ripple effect.
To be quite honest, I'm going to put it like this. I think Jay was the right person to win the Rumble. It's just that they didn't know how to book afterwards.
Honestly, I thought Punk was supposed to win it.
That's what I thought.
I thought they were going to actually give it to Punk. We were going to get Punk and Cody because all in all, I feel like that would have made a much better shot and a much better... I know that it's not in their mind, but it's a much better fuck you to AEW by having the final shot of WrestleMania, Punk holding the WWE Championship.
I'm about to say, wasn't they teasing Punk and Cody since like the end of last year?
Dude, they were teasing Punk and Cody since the build to Rumble last year.
Yeah,
Yeah. And then they teased it again before the Rumble this year. And yeah.
They're going to pull that trigger next year.
And it's going to be the same thing next year, but I don't think it's going to be Punk and Cody. I honestly don't. Just like how I don't think it's going to happen. It's either going to be Cody and Rock or Roman and Rock, and Cody's going to be working, I don't know, not Punk. He's probably going to be working a Seth or a Norton. Who knows? I don't fucking know at this point. We don't even know what's going to happen this year's Mania. We're a week away, and we're like 50-50 on a lot of shit right now.
I'm going to keep it a buck. The simple fact that we're 50-50, I like where I'm at in that space. I don't want to be so sure that something happened, because back in the days when I could predict a WrestleMania down the line, I used to get so frustrated about it.
Yeah,
after a while.
But we don't want 50-50 though, because that just throws everything the fuck off. 50-50, it's like you're booking yourselves in the corner. Are we booking the right person to win? Are we booking the right person to lose? Like, what do we do? What do we do after the fact? You know, that's those are questions that need to be asked to Triple H. Are you sure you know what you're doing? Like, I don't know.
Actually,
just like you said, you trust him like how we trust Howie Roseman.
And like I said, just like how Howie Roseman can make some mistakes and we be like, what the fuck, Howie? What was you thinking, Howie? What was you doing, Howie? It turns out in all right at the end. So right now we at that point with Triple H is like, yo, what the fuck is you doing, Hunter? Like, why would you do this? Like, why is this build so ass? But I do got a feeling that in the long run we gonna sit back and be like, although the build was ass, this was actually a nice ass.
The build being ass is like Howie getting rid of Mekhi Becton. That one fucking hurt.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, CJ, I understand. But Mekhi Becton, dog, what the fuck are you doing? That's how this build feels right now.
But we gonna be all right.
So, speaking of all right, let's break down the card. I noticed there's 7 matches on Saturday and only 6 on Sunday. I don't know if that was the same formula as last year, but I feel as though there will be a 7th match on Sunday, which is the looming question of Randy Orton. Where do we see him placed in WrestleMania? Who do we see him facing? I am hoping
going to say Aldis or Black.
I don't think it's going to be Aleister Black because they keep teasing him to show up on SmackDown. They wouldn't be dropping those vignettes for a reason. I feel like he'll be. It
also wouldn't be Black because that's when you're doubly booking yourself into a corner, because it's like, all right, we can't have Randy lose, but then we just have Aleister Black return. We can't have him lose neither. And you don't want to throw the match out with a fucking disqualification.
Or a fuck finish. Like, the thing is, I want it to be Nick Aldis. I do. Because of the way everything's been booked and how Orton just planted those seeds about Mickey. But I'm not going to be surprised if we do get Solo. And will it be disappointing? Yes, because that is a glorified house show match. That's sure, it's a way to get Solo on the card. Cool. But I wouldn't be excited for it. However, there is one name that's looming over my head. I honestly think, what if it's Rusev?
Rusev Futria. Rusev Machka.
Because he did re-sign. So what if he's the surprise guy to show up and, put on a little bit of a banger with Orton, but I don't know. I don't know where they're going to put him. I don't know. Could be fucking Andrade for all we know. Could be fucking Carmelo Hayes for all we know. Should be on the card. But again, do we want to see those type of matches that's already a SmackDown match?
I feel like I could.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking like, as far as Randy Orton is concerned, if we're going to have a surprise opponent outside of Solo, it's got to be somebody that he has a story with.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like
and it's like it's not
is Nick Aldis. I mean, what route were you going? That's where I was trying to figure out.
So I'm thinking like outside of Nick Aldis, I'm trying to think like who has that unfinished business with Randy. I mean, what if Kevin Owens was lying this whole entire time? I highly doubt that he was, but
yeah,
even with that, it's like, who knows?
Yeah, because like I don't think Kevin Owens is lying because PW Insider leaked that Kevin Owens is looking to be out for like at least 2 years with this neck injury. Like he's going to miss this Mania and most likely miss next year's Mania, which is going to suck.
They said 12 to 16 months. And he got the surgery.
He's pretty much going to be gone the amount of time Orton was gone.
Yep.
And the thing is, he'll most likely miss next year's WrestleMania.
Or because I had Big E in my head, and I'm like,
nah, dude.
I'm glad that you did because I just randomly had a Big E thought, but it has nothing to do with the Randy match.
You're thinking of the New Day match, aren't you? Yeah. The thing is with Orton, or they could just say fuck it and don't put him on the card. And by I don't know why they would do it, but for some reason have him win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Which, why? I don't know. I feel like the Battle Royal is a dead concept to this point. I like it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah, it's a pointless thing.
Or depending on how fast he's healed, it could be a fucking Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed comes and in favor of the bloodline and absolutely dominates Randy Orton. Kind of like shades of how Mark Henry did it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see that, but I don't think Bronson Reed's completely healed. So I don't know. I don't know where are we going with Orton. My guess is it's either going to be Solo or fingers crossed it's going to be Nick Aldis. Those are my guesses.
Whoever did, they eat an RKO.
Exactly.
Point blank period.
So now that we got the Orton question out of the way, let's move on to WrestleMania Saturday. It's not the official lineup, but from what it seems like this has been the lineup. We have starting off with Rey Mysterio, Rey Mysterio versus Starbucks Cup.
Rey Mysterio, we already know Rey is winning this. He's going to unmask Chad Gable. We already know that. We shouldn't even waste our breath on this match. I'm going to be completely fucking honest. We should not waste our goddamn breath on this.
This is a Monday Night Raw match at its finest, or a pre-show match, but they don't do pre-show matches anymore. I think this was another way to get one, Rey Mysterio on the card, and two, Chad Gable on the card without being Chad Gable.
Right.
At this point, you should have just fucking You should never even, as over as he's gotten, which good for Chad Gable. But at this point, you should have just done a fucking, what is it, American Alpha? Not American Alpha. Is that their fucking name now? I forget their name.
American Made.
American Made, thank you. American Made and fucking LWO. You should have at least done that. Made it into like a street fight.
But that goes back on top of your point as far as it being a multi-man match.
Exactly. But that's the thing. You can't win. Or you could have just made it flat out Rey Mysterio versus Chad Gable. But again, we've seen it so many times on Monday Night Raw, so what the fuck doesn't even matter?
Yeah.
So I got Rey winning. I'm going with Juju. He's going to unmask Starbucks drink, and it's going to be Chad Gable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm not wasting my breath on that.
The next one is gonna be a sleeper, in my opinion, but Naomi and Jade Cargill.
I'm going with Naomi.
But I feel like they're going to give it to Jade.
Yeah, I feel like they're going to give it to Jade, but Naomi may come out with some sneaky shit.
Do we see Jade actually putting on a good match, though?
I say she does.
Do we see Naomi help Jade and help carry her to that good match? Do we trust? Like, here's the thing. I know Naomi's a great worker, but do we trust Jade enough to be like, all right, it's the big show. Let's, you really haven't competed that much since you came back.
Well, I say no because, one, this is her first Mania solo.
Yes.
You already know that how that like pressure is like as far as you being on the grandest stage on your own. Like
exactly.
last year you was with Naomi and Bianca. Bianca pretty much Bianca pretty much was like the leader of it, but in all actuality, Naomi was the leader of that whole thing because longevity.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I feel like we could trust Naomi to carry, but as far as like execution is concerned, it's not going to be a sleeper, but it's going to be just one of those placeholder matches.
It's going to be a slobber knocker for sure.
It's going to be like those under the radar type matches, like where it was on paper. It's like, all right, the build's there. Do we trust it? And then when you see it happen, it's like, oh, okay. It'll be like okay. It won't be forgotten about, but it'll be like, all right, they did their thing type of thing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
However, I'm agreeing with Haz. I think they're going to give it to Jade because of the momentum shift. But I am personally wanting Naomi to come out on top of this one because her heel work that she's turned into is fucking fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
What she's doing right now is fucking fantastic. It's money. I'm enjoying this heel run that she has. Even if she's just a heel or a tweener, I'm enjoying this run that she's doing right now. Arguably, I think she should get a new theme song? If you're going to be with this character, you should not come out to the Glow theme.
Yeah, no.
I'm terrified of what Def Rebel's going to do. But
just give her back her old amazing theme from when she first went here. I'll be cool with that.
What happened, Haz?
Even with
I thought they had changed it when she had turned because she had came out to a whole different theme song one week and then she came back out the Glow.
No, she came out the Glow. She was coming out the Glow and then Jade attacked her, so we didn't even see her pull off that entrance. And then we haven't heard anything since. So that's why I'm like saying, I don't know. I don't trust Def Rebel. But I have Naomi winning, but even though Jade's going to go that route. The next one, again, a glorified Raw match, and I don't understand why this tag match is over the SmackDown tag titles, but we have the New Day and the War Raiders. How we feeling?
Either Big E come out and cost them the match, or the New Day actually wins.
I'm still upset on the fact that they put the wrong tag team title match on their show. You had Street Profits and Motor City Machine Guns right the fuck there. And yeah, like I said yesterday, you literally could have made it a multi-tag ladder match like you did last year. And could have added DIY, Pretty Deadly, Street Profits, and Motor City. That would have been an instant banger right there. But the fact that you're not even giving Motor City their first WrestleMania. That's what's upsetting me.
Well,
you gave them all this hype, all this fucking momentum, and like, oh my god, we have Motor City, but you didn't give them the WrestleMania platform. Like what the fuck? So I don't know. I think New Day comes out on top because at this point, I don't think the crowd care. It sucks too because I don't think the crowd cares about the War Raiders anymore.
Yeah, I noticed because don't nobody do war.
Which sucks because it shows that Vince has really ruined them with the whole Viking Raiders gimmick.
Mm-hmm.
And I see what Triple H is trying to do, but if I don't see War Raiders, I see them getting the move. Like if they drop the titles to the New Day, and then the draft happens, I see War Raiders going to SmackDown to feud with Street Profits and Motor City, or like a War Raiders dropping down to NXT type shit. So I don't know. I agree on New Day winning, but if they end up losing, it's because of Big E.
Yep. Motherfuckers gonna pop if we hear that. Y'all want to go big? Then say that. Woo!
But at the same time, we've predicted Big E on so many shows that I don't even think it's going to happen. We predicted him at the Rumble. Me and EJ have predicted him at Crown Jewel. Like, I don't think shit's going to happen. You know, we want it to happen, but I think this is personally time for Big E. It's to move on from the Big E train, and it's sad to say. The next one I think is also a glorified SmackDown match, but like Has said, I feel like it's going to be a squash. LA Knight and Jacob Fatu.
You gonna kill that man.
There's other two things that are going to happen with this. I feel like LA Knight wins because of Solo interfering. Or Jacob Fatu absolutely runs through LA Knight and just easily takes that title. Which, in my opinion, if that happens, I think it's time to pull the trigger on LA Knight winning Money in the Bank.
Money in the Bank.
Because where else do you go with LA Knight? He's still over. He's still popular. Where else do you go outside of the United States title?
You make him become a Pokemon trainer.
I'm gonna fucking slap the shit out you. God, it's not even fucking. It's not even 7 o'clock yet over there, and you're like already saying some sus shit.
I'm just.
I got Jacob Fatu winning clean, easily.
Yeah.
I need a yada da mean before he gets to that ring though.
Yada da mean.
What do you say to Braun Strowman? From coast to coast to post to post.
I'm a dog walk your ass. Yep.
I'm all gas, no brakes.
I need that shirt. I fucking need that shirt. So we got Jacob Fatu going through. That's simple. The next one we have Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair.
Of course, Ric Flair is going to win.
Do we see this as another momentum killer for Charlotte Flair?
Okay. With a tear in my eye.
Nope. I got Tiffany.
You got Tiffany with the surprise?
Yeah.
So if we see Charlotte going 0-4.
If that were to happen, I would be very surprised if Charlotte lets that happen. However, if Charlotte wins, I do believe Tiffany's momentum will die down instantly.
It's gonna die immediately.
Like, I feel like Tiffany will get dropped down to the mid-card level and work her way back up. And then you'll give Charlotte the title, and who's going to be there on SmackDown to challenge her for it?
Jade.
But you're going to pull the trigger. But are you going to pull the trigger that fast with Jade?
Who else?
I mean, I can see.
Listen, who won't want to walk and stick as the champion? Lying about people being in her DMs. Girl, ain't nobody in your DMs. Ain't nobody in your DMs.
Kaiser roll is Kaiser roll.
You hit it with the Shawn Michaels.
Flatter yourself.
Another name that I'm pissed that's not on the Mania card either. Like he would have fit in that Intercontinental Championship mold. I don't know why he's not in that part of that.
Who, me? Yeah, I would fit in that mold. Oh,
you stupid ass! No. So who do we got? Who do we have? I don't want to say her, but I do think Charlotte's going to end up winning this match. Unfortunately,
they're going to give it to Donald Trump, of course.
Damn, this man. You did not just say that. Oh my God. Okay.
Nobody wants the skeleton vagina to win.
Not the Purdue chicken.
Whoa.
Charlotte. So
listen, Charlotte and Cody, politicians, live TV.
Let's not hate on Reverend Rhodes here. Let's not. No.
That's Cody Raheem Rhodes right there. You know what I'm saying?
You leave that man alone. All right. This next one has had discourse for weeks between all of us. Gunther and Jey Uso.
I'm gonna keep it a buck. If it was Jay leading up, still getting bitched out, he would have lost. But what I tell y'all yesterday, stress Jay.
I'm telling you right now, I'm still sticking to my gun. Gunther is beating Jey Uso.
I got Jay coming out.
I have Gunther giving Jay the Gable treatment from when he fucked up Gable at the end of that match.
No.
Drop kick, power bomb, clothesline. Yeah.
But if you have Jay win this, right? That means Gunther lost 2 WrestleManias as champion.
Yep.
I mean, he's been champion majority of his career since he's been with WWE.
Oh, Triple H lost 2 WrestleManias as champion.
But this also leaves a looming question. If Jay wins, where do we go from here?
Sammy.
We kidnap everybody.
Why? Why would you put Sammy against Jay? Who would be credible enough outside of Gunther to take the title off of Jay?
Everybody.
Yeah, but too bad everybody's
I'm not
been
even
booked
gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Too bad everyone's been booked to shit. You can't even say Finn Balor. You can't even say
No. I mean, Finn could be a good choice. It's just how you know.
They probably about to turn him face because they about to kick him out of Judgment Day.
Of course, because what's going to happen on Sunday.
All right, I'll say this: if Jay wins, right?
Yeah.
You have. I'll put it to you like this: This is my WrestleMania domino effect theory. If Jay wins, Braun Breaker loses. Braun Breaker could be a potential number 1 contender down the road. So you got that. On top of that, you have a possible Finn Balor situation. On top of that, you have a potential. Who else is on Raw? That's
Dominic Mysterio.
Yeah, you can say
Penta.
And of course,
Dom actually starting to gain some steam.
And based on our theory in the main event, Seth Rollins, if he stays on Raw.
This is my thing. I feel as though if Jay wins, cool. You gave the man who has held his company down for probably a year in terms of popularity, in terms of putting asses in seats, the guy that's been entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
That's the looming question of where the fuck do you do it? Like, what do you do with Jay? He wins. I give that title reign a month max. Or I give it the Eddie Guerrero effect. He loses it in 2. However, I feel as though if you have Gunther win, you give Jay another chance to do the chase, since everyone loves when a babyface is chasing the title.
That's what I was, and that was going to be my next statement, because if Jay wins, where do you go? If Gunther wins, there's a bigger story to it.
If Gunther wins, that opens up more of a door of possibilities. You could have a CM Punk. You could have a Seth Rollins. You can bring in Sami Zayn.
That's the flip side to it, because all the people you just named are the same people that challenged him, well, minus a couple, that challenged him for the Intercontinental joint.
Right.
So are you going to repeat Gunther's reign and have the same contenders, but for the World Heavyweight?
But the thing is, we've seen Gunther and Punk, Gunther and Seth have all happened on house shows. We've never seen it on TV yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Minus a few names. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, those are the 2 top guys that would be credible enough to go after Gunther. With Jay, you're going to put babyface versus babyface? Nobody wants that. Someone's got to go heel, and I don't think you want to jeopardize any of those babyfaces going heel.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, because I feel like Seth he's bound to turn heel at some point.
Yeah, he's well on his way.
Yeah. So that's why I said if you have Jay win, Seth Rollins could be a name. Finn Balor could be a name.
But again, Has just said Finn Balor is going to be turning babyface soon.
I mean, yeah, but even still, like,
kick him out of Judgment Day. Like, look what's been going on. He's been politicking for himself.
Exactly.
No, I get that. I get that.
I think it's going to be the opposite.
What?
I think Dominic is going to be more like the tweener rules, while Finn is still the heel, because he's still showing off heel-like tendencies, even though he's about to get kicked out. Because normally when a motherfucker getting kicked out, they show off their babyface tendencies. Finn is still showing heel tendencies, if not more. Like, he's getting deeper and deeper into it.
Here's a better idea.
It's going to be him getting kicked out, but it's going to be something different.
Yeah, but at the same time, here's a better idea. Just cut the group in general. Like,
that's what I'm leaning towards. I think
no one gives a shit about Judgment Day anymore. In the words of Rhea Ripley, Judgment Day died ever since they turned on Rhea and Damian.
Pretty much.
I was going to say and Edge too.
But with Rhea and Damian, it made the group better than what it was. Mm-hmm. They did better than what Edge did with it. But with them gone, they were technically the leaders of it. And it's a dead group now.
I was going to say they never gave Edge a shot to let it flourish.
Because Edge didn't want the booking. Edge didn't want the story. Edge didn't want what was written for them. That's why he wanted out. Do I still think to this day he should have put Finn Balor over? Yes, he should have.
Mm-hmm.
But he, according to sources, he wanted to. But ironically, that story came out. But at the same time, going back to this world title match, this is where 50-50 comes into play. Because it's bringing up your point of Gunther losing 2 WrestleManias in a row as champion.
Mm-hmm.
After being a dominant champion at 39, he lost at 40, and he's going to lose at 41. Not only did he lose the IC title, he's going to lose the major title, which is the World Heavyweight title. And then it's a 50-50 route in terms of if Jay wins, We don't know where that's going to go.
Mm-hmm.
The only other name I can say is if they have the draft, Drew McIntyre goes to Raw and takes it off Jay.
But on top of that theory, that makes the whole trade for Drew a waste of time.
Why?
Mainly because so if you go that route of Drew McIntyre being drafted back to Raw,
right?
What was the point of sending him over to SmackDown? If you was to go that route, because Drew hasn't been over on SmackDown for that long.
Right, but that's the only other name that I could see big enough to come over to Raw and take the title off him. Other than that, I don't even know who else would be. The only person that's built up enough, like you said, is Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
But Braun Breaker's not a heel. And that's the part that kills people. He's not a heel. He's kind of like a tweener, but he's more leaning on the babyface side.
Right.
So I don't know who else you could pick out of the hat to be like, okay, who on Monday Night Raw has been deemed credible enough to go after Jey Uso and take the World Heavyweight title from him?
That's the thing, like, because most of the top people on Raw are
babyfaces.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's Punk, Rollins, and that's it.
And then if you have an Ilya Dragunov come back, he's a babyface. The only other name that I can also see if he's fully back from injury is Bronson Reed. But do we want to pull the trigger on that?
Maybe. Or you do the unthinkable. If you do the unthinkable and perform a Bret and Austin and have a double switch at Mania.
What, Jay go heel? But why? Why would you have Jay go heel?
Crash out Jay.
Right, but he's a top
merch seller.
He's a top merch seller.
Hold on. He did all of that. And think about that promo he cut on Monday.
Yeah.
That could also be credible to a possible Jay Hill turn, because with him crashing out, he could say, yeah, the fans was this and that and the third, but look where it got him. It cost his brother. It cost all of this, whatever. Like, it can go either way. That's why I say if WWE, if Triple H was to make this better than what it is now, you pull an Austin Bret and have a double switch at some point.
I can see where you're going with that. But at the same time, I feel like Triple H would just be rehashing what he did with Cena.
Yeah.
Like here's the outside of Cody. Yeah. Here is the number one babyface in the company, the most popular guy in the company, and we're just gonna turn him as a heel again. It doesn't. That's where you have to look at it. It's like, okay, it would be nice, but at the same time, we just saw this 2 months ago.
Yeah, I mean, true, but I mean, I feel like Jay has been a face longer. Well,
yeah, he just turned babyface like right after, 2023.
Like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he just literally got hot right before the Rumble.
That's true.
Like his star power went skyrocketed.
That's true.
Are you eating cookies in front of Haz again?
Yeah.
Haz gonna kill you. Haz gonna kill you.
Yeah.
He's too focused. Okay, so who do we have?
Right. Hide the beard. Because
I'm still sticking to my gun since the day Jey Uso won the Rumble. I'm sticking with Gunther retaining the title.
Jey Uso. Stretch Jay is the best Jay.
I feel like I'm going to be the only odd man out with Gunther winning, which is fine by me.
No, I honestly, I wouldn't say you're the only one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the defense of I'll believe it when I see it.
So at this rate, you're like, if it happens, it happens.
Exactly. Because like I want to be one of those guys that say, yeah, Jay's going to win, but at the same time, I'm really holding into consideration of where do you go.
Exactly.
And on top of that is like I don't want to see one of the most dominant people lose 2 Manias in a row as champion.
And mind you, they pulled the same storyline with Charlotte that Jay is 0-3 against Gunther.
Yeah, so it's like in this scenario, which goes back to the Rumble scenario, it's a lose-lose.
Exactly. And that's the thing. Jay just lost to him at Saturday night's main event.
Yeah.
So, I'm sorry. I mean, do I think Gunther's reign as champion has been a dud? On the fence, yes. It's been a little bit hit or miss. He's had some hits, but there's been a lot of misses, him as champ. But I think there's some more left in the tank with him being champ and a lot more routes in terms of matches that he can go as champ.
It just goes in a matter of who.
You take the title off him, I guarantee he gets it back within a month. Jey Uso is going to have, if not the Jeff Hardy route, he's going to have the Eddie Guerrero route. He's going to have 1 or 2 months with that title, period. I do not see Jey Uso being champion, carrying it out through the whole summer, or even then carrying it all the way to the Royal Rumble next year. I do not see that. I don't.
Or the typical until SummerSlam.
That's what I mean. Or the typical waiting until a year-long reign at WrestleMania. I feel like that's going to be fucking boring as shit. I'm the world champion. Yeet. Like, I'm the world heavy yeet champion. Like,
yeah, there it is.
I got Gunther. Y'all, yeah, whatever. Main event of night 1. Punk Seth Roman. The Jerry Springer match for Paul Heyman.
Jerry Springer.
I said this yesterday. I'm all for Punk getting his main event. I'm all for it. But what? I understand there's a lot of story behind it. There's a lot of history behind it. People are like, it doesn't need a title. It doesn't need this. But I feel like something has to be on the line here. I feel as though something should have been on the line. Like, oh, winner is number 1 contender. Or if I were to mix it up, I would have been like, hey, fuck you, Dwayne. The winner of this gets added to the main event of night 2. However you want to play it. I did see a theory, however. I did. Where, and this is very interesting. Paul Heyman is going to screw Punk and Roman and side with Seth.
That's right.
And
possibility.
Part of that theory was Seth wins the triple threat because of Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman gets aligned with Seth. And for some odd reason, Seth is going to walk out of WrestleMania the WWE champion.
That makes no sense to me.
Well, no. Due to the fact that Paul Heyman knows The Rock.
So he's looking to pull the Heist of a Century Part 2.
Part 2 because of the fact of Dwayne. I could, knowing how The Rock plays his shit out, and we don't even know what the fuck he does anymore, I could possibly see that happening. If you want something big, have The Rock come out Sunday night, main event, Cody Cena. They're both on the ground. The Rock waves out Seth Rollins. There's your champ. And The Rock could do a part 2 of him yelling at the ref.
So pretty much John Cena's whole turn was a waste.
No.
That's why I said it makes no sense.
No. I wouldn't see it. I wouldn't see it as a waste. You know why? I could see Cena being the setup for Cody.
Mm-hmm.
But I also figured out, because another part to that theory, and I did remember him doing that. Last year, The Rock trademarked 3 things before WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
He trademarked Jabroni. He trademarked The Final Boss.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also trademarked Team Corporate.
Mm-hmm.
What if, and I'm saying what if, since The Rock is pulling this whole, he's the final boss, he's on the corporate level, he's, at that rate where he's at a higher power in WWE. What if I see a rehash of the Vince McMahon route with the corporation? The Rock builds Cena and Seth on the corporation. I'm just saying I can see that theory happening, and Paul Heyman is the one that played the strings to it all, because we know how Paul Heyman is. I could see that happening, or I could also see it in another way where Paul Heyman just screws Punk and Roman, Seth wins, and Seth is going to be guaranteed a title match in the later future. But for sure, I do see Seth. I might agree with you guys here. I do see Seth turning heel come Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I still think Roman's winning. Roman or Punk. 9 times out of 10.
I don't see Roman walking out of this. If Punk wins, Punk deserves it.
Yeah.
However, I feel like there should be something on the line. There has to be. Like, I'm sorry, you're just giving me a triple threat of 3 of the top guys in the company for what? Like Nove said, a goodbye to the Shield? Like, what is it? What are we fighting
I feel
for?
like I put it to you like this. I don't see Roman winning it, and surprisingly, I don't see Punk winning it. And the reason why I don't see Punk winning it is because, think about it. All he wanted was to be the main event at WrestleMania.
Exactly.
He never said anything about winning or losing. He just wanted to be in the main event of WrestleMania.
He just wants to beat the shit out of... Yeah, he just wants to beat the shit out of 2 guys that he hates in the main event of WrestleMania.
Yeah, so Punk already got what he wanted. Roman already got what he wanted, being the guy. Okay. And pretty much like Seth Seth is like, what does he have to lose?
Nothing. He has nothing to lose at this point.
So why not?
I would be that type of guy if I'm booking this. Like you said, Punk got his main event, got what he wanted. Mm-hmm. Roman got what he wanted because he's the guy and he's already going to get that main event spot. I can see is where I would give it to Seth based on the fact that he was the MVP of last year's Mania.
Mm-hmm.
You did this for us. Here's the way of giving back to you.
Yep.
You went 0-2 last year, but you were still the MVP due to the fact that you basically wrestled crippled and did all you could for Cody and all you could for Drew McIntyre and all you could for like Roman and The Rock and all them. You were the guy that carried that whole thing down. Here you go. This is your reward. You're beating 2 of the top guys of the company. Now, do I see it as Heyman's going to screw them over? Who knows? Because the way Monday went out and Seth went, you owe me a favor. Mm-hmm. Which I don't get that in a sense. He's only saying that because Seth didn't stomp Heyman's head in. But how do you owe a favor from that? Mm-hmm. But at this rate, Heyman's owing a lot of people favors at this point. He's owing like too many people. Or I could go with that theory with The Rock. I don't know. I personally don't. Or I can go on the route what Juju said. If The Rock's in the building that weekend, Roman's winning. But I could also see if The Rock is in the building that weekend, he screws Roman.
That's what I was about to say. There's two outcomes to that, and I wanted to elaborate. I'm glad we got to today so I can elaborate on that. So what I meant by it is, like you said, if Roman's in the building, if Rock is in the building and Rock don't show up, Roman's winning because he's going to be that foil in the night 2 main event with Cody and Cena. But if Rock is in that building, it could be a point where Roman is about to win and Rock is out there like, come on, and just slides in the ring like, come on, what are you waiting for? And Roman like, yo, what are you doing in the ring? Like, I got this. Rock bottom. And you got Paul Heyman on the outside like, oh my God. Like,
see, but that also can add to that theory though, because if The Rock does that, I could see Paul Heyman being the slimy little shit that he is and putting Seth Rollins in the win to pin Roman Reigns.
Or what if, let's just say Paul don't turn, right?
Right.
And that rock bottom happens to Roman. And because he's supposed to be in Punk's corner, he's so caught up with the simple fact that Roman just got rock bottom. You know, oh, my tribal chief. And he don't even dig what's going on in the ring. Punk probably about to win. Nope. Slides off, low blow, stomp. 1, 2, 3. Heyman turned around. He like, what the fuck have I just done? Because now, shit, I'm focused on Tribal Chief, but I'm neglecting CM Punk. I can see that part. I can definitely, if Seth wins, I can see it happening like that. Because
I can see it.
I don't feel how I normally feel when Punk is going. I mean, when Heyman's going to turn on somebody. When he turned on Brock in 2002, I felt that bitch coming in the air. I felt it in the air. When he turned on Punk, I felt that shit in the air. I'm I felt that man go. It feels different. It's like we know he's going to turn, but it don't feel like it is right now. I don't feel it in the air yet.
If Heyman doesn't turn, I can see this leading to Punk and Roman going into SummerSlam.
And Punk and then Heyman turns then.
Exactly. We don't know. It all depends on who he turns against.
Exactly.
Well, Punk would have been a red hot babyface at that point. So
yeah, but also
it could be Punk that he turns.
Could be.
Who knows?
I want. See, my heart says I want CM Punk to win, but in reality, looking at it and from all points of views, I see Seth creeping out of this as the winner.
Mm-hmm. Because I would say the favorite would be for Seth winning at WrestleMania.
Yes. And I see Seth being lined up to go against either Gunther or Jay or Cody and Cena. I see Seth going in that world title route. I feel like he's going to get back on that world title picture.
To be quite honest, for me, I will only see Seth going after Jay, not only for the world title, but to further antagonize Roman. Like him and Cody, that's some unfinished business there. I can definitely see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, he don't want to leave Raw, so
I can also see Seth and Cena.
That's true.
But it's a different Cena now. He doesn't even have the gas anymore. So my man probably could just be giving us a match like he did with Austin Theory. We don't even fucking know.
That's true.
He ain't got the gas anymore. He ain't got the juice. We don't know. You saw how slow he looked at Elimination Chamber. He ain't got the juice no more.
Mm-hmm.
So that does it for night 1. Moving on to night 2. The match that has least built up, has no build. AJ Styles and Logan Paul.
Styles.
AJ. I don't see how you give Logan Paul this win. Again, it's just a match for Logan Paul because of the name. And you want to, put it in the eyes of TKO. It's a name. But you're not going to have AJ Styles lose to this man. No. AJ Styles is currently on a losing streak at WrestleMania, is he not?
The last time he won, he had Omos by his side.
It was 37. He lost at 38 and lost at. Did he wrestle at 39?
I think so.
Or was he not on the card?
No, he wasn't on the card.
He wasn't on the card, right?
No, I think he was out on injury still.
Well, he did lose at 40 to LA Knight.
Yeah.
To the night.
To LA Knight, yeah. So I can see AJ Styles getting the win because he needs the win back. And I also see AJ Styles being that name to get back in the world title picture. Or since he's a Raw guy now, I see him possibly going for the IC title again. What are you thinking, him and Balor? Stop.
Somewhere down the line, that shit gonna happen. May not be this year, but somewhere down the line, that shit's gonna happen.
I did read, however, that he pairs up with Finn Balor, and this whole time it was a job on the inside. Like they just tore down Judgment Day for a reason.
But I've been thinking
AJ Styles last Mania was 38.
No, he
wasn't at 39.
He was at 40. He lost to LA Knight.
No, I'm saying before 40.
Oh yeah. And he lost to that horrible match with Edge. Yes.
Yeah.
That was very disappointing to say the least. But I see AJ Styles. Do I see this as it's going to be a good match? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be disappointed by it. But I see AJ Styles winning. However, if Logan Paul wins, it's because of Karrion Kross. Prove me wrong.
That's what I was about to say too.
Because he seems very adamant on AJ Styles needing to win. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
But that's the question. What comes about that with Karrion Kross and AJ Styles? Like where?
I mean, they have a match on Raw.
To?
They have a match on Raw, the go home show before Mania. They have a match, but I don't know what Karrion Kross is doing. I don't know if he's trying to play mind games with AJ Styles and Triple H is trying to rehash that feud that they had on SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. So I'm not sleeping on this match because, like we said in the past, Logan Paul has not had one bad match, surprisingly. So I can see this as being a possible show stealer for night 2.
All right.
Another match that has been better with the build, even though it's gotten a shit ton of hate. And I also see this stealing the show at night 2. Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest.
Yep.
In the Sin City Street Fight.
Big meaty men bumping meat.
Like this was technically a year-long build, and is this the route that I wanted Drew McIntyre to go? No, because I was really rooting for Drew versus Cena, but that went a whole different route.
Mm-hmm.
I was also rooting for Drew versus Roman because they kept teasing that in the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Which ironically it's still going to happen. It's probably not going to happen, at a WrestleMania, but everything that's been going on after War Games, the target of the OG bloodline, that story is still going to be prevalent.
I know that, but it's just...
Yeah. They're just waiting for the right parts and shit.
Mania was the right place. But I see Drew McIntyre finally beating Damian Priest.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see that?
I got Priest.
I see it. The pettiness in me is saying if he ain't coming out the broken dreams, I don't see it. But realistically, I see it.
And that's the thing, because Drew hasn't beaten Damian Priest in a year.
I dream, Bruce.
He hasn't. Every time he's faced Damian's won. I can see Drew walking out the winner, and that's when you should really start building up Drew again. I'm sorry. He's way too good not to be in the picture.
Make them for you.
Another match that Haz was not happy about. The women's tag team titles.
That shit is so predictable.
Liv and Raquel versus Bailey and Bird Lady.
Bird Lady, that's funny.
A last minute thrown together match because booking. How are we feeling?
Liv and Raquel.
You don't think they're
I'm
dropping
not
it?
wasting my breath on this one.
So we see Liv and Raquel retaining.
Yeah, we might move on.
All right, move on. Move on.
But
The mat.
but
Uh-oh.
they retain that Mania, they lose it the next night.
2.
Dare I say Shayna and Zoe?
No. They lose it to next night to Asuka and Kyrie.
If she comes back, I wouldn't mind it.
The
Well, if
Kabuki
they
Warriors
come
come back and take back what's rightfully theirs.
I wouldn't mind it.
Nope.
That or they start the fucking story for Alexa and Nikki Cross with them.
I don't even know where they're going with that because Alexa's on SmackDown, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing with that. And so is the Wyatt Six. So I don't know.
Who knows?
All this shit we won't find out until after Mania.
Which is why I said I'm not wasting my breath on this shit.
Fair. The match that I feel like can go either way, and I'm honestly hyped for this match. Ooh.
Oh boy.
The Fatal 4-Way for the Intercontinental Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I do have Braun possibly retaining, but I also see Penta winning. I can see Finn Balor winning, but I also see Dom winning.
If Dom win, I'm not going to hold. It's nothing but up for that young man.
If
Dom wins, it's going to be on a fluke.
It's going to be him screwing Finn Balor. I call it as Penta's getting pinned. It's either Penta or Braun getting the pin.
Mm-hmm.
I see it as Finn Balor hits coup de grace. Looking like he's going to win. Dominic Mysterio comes in, slimy, throws out Finn Balor, and takes the pin.
Probably, yeah.
I could see that. However,
thus ending the Judgment Day as we know it.
That's going to end the Judgment Day. It's going to start a feud between Finn and Dom going down the line.
Mm-hmm.
But do we want Penta losing his first Mania?
Maybe. Maybe not.
Well, I mean, AJ Styles lost his first Mania, so I don't see why not.
Oh shit, my neck.
So do we have Penta losing and then immediately going to pair him with Rey Fenix?
Yeah.
Move him to SmackDown and give me the Lucha Bros versus Motor City? Or the Lucha Bros and the Street Profits?
Yep.
I'll take it. I have Dominic Mysterio with the upset, winning this match.
Or the other way around and have Phoenix come to Raw. Because Raw needs tag team.
And the New Day needs contenders if they're going to beat the War Raiders.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's literally a dream match in itself, was the Lucha Bros versus the New Day. So,
yep.
Which I'm sorry, could be a show stealer, but I don't know how they're going to book it. I do have, however, for this Fatal 4-Way, Dominic Mysterio pulling up an upset. Whether it be from him screwing Finn Balor or Liv Morgan coming out to help him.
I was about to say, because Dom is what? 0-3 at Mania?
0-2.
He's 0-2.
He lost to his dad twice.
Yep.
Right. No, because he was at Mania 38.
He lost it. 0-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then yeah. I'm right. Yeah, I'm right. 0-3 because he wasn't at 37.
Nah.
Because I kept thinking AJ Styles and Omos, they beat the New Day, not Ray and Dom.
Right.
So yeah, he's 0-3. So Dom needs a win.
Yep.
Finn Balor's a lost fucking cause. I'm not going to get into him. Another match that has a lot of discourse and a lot of hate. The women's triple threat. Io, Bianca, Rhea.
Bianca wins and turns heel.
That's your call?
That's the obvious choice. I'm sorry.
Honestly.
Fickle fans.
It's the
But
obvious choice.
here's the thing. Do we have Bianca
Yeah,
win?
even if she loses, she turns heel. Either way.
But if Bianca wins and turns heel, do we see Rhea chasing Bianca?
Yes.
Up until when?
SummerSlam.
Okay. SummerSlam. Okay. And have Rhea win the title.
Or if you do it to where, because I think they have a show in Australia this year, right?
They're trying to have another show in Perth, Australia. Yes.
Yep. Pull the trigger on Rhea then, and she wins another world title in her home country.
It's either that or you pull the. I was gonna say
the stereo. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, the stereotypical thing, home country. Yeah. I was also gonna say the rumored Evolution pay-per-view that's gonna happen.
Yep.
Evolution.
Because the thing is with Bianca, surprisingly, she's undefeated at WrestleMania.
And I don't. As much as I want her streak to stop, I don't know if it's gonna stop from here. They're gonna book her like the female Undertaker.
Probably.
However,
but to what degree?
A random thought that I did think though, because you mentioned Liv and Raquel with the tag titles, right? I can see Bianca winning and turning heel, and I can see Io chasing Bianca first.
Okay.
With Liv and Raquel, they can do an open challenge on Monday night. Out comes Rhea. And her partner, nobody expects. Out comes Becky.
Hoes. Ho.
Since Liv has history with Rhea, and Liv is always bragging about she put Becky on retirement, they come out, take the tag titles, boom. Give Rhea a break from the world title picture for now. You can see that, right? I can see it. Because another name that I think ran.
I was going to say an NXT call up.
But who? The only name that's ready to come up is Roxanne, and you're not going to pair her with Rhea. The only other name that I could see getting called up is Stephanie Vecker.
And her teaming with Rhea?
That's too dominant. That's too much for the internet. We can't handle that. No, we can't handle that.
Would say that's a shuggy duggy quack quack.
Oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah, man.
Like I said, the
Trick
only
get called up after Mania too.
Who?
Trick.
Oh yeah, that's happening.
Yeah, for sure.
There's 3 or 4 names that I think are getting called up. It's going to be Trick, Roxanne. I could see Stephanie Vecker getting called up.
Lash and Jakara.
Oh yeah, that could be a sleeper team that's getting called up.
Technically, they're already on the roster.
But another name that sticks out, because I don't think she's going to stay for long either, I think Julia gets called up.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I forgot about Julia.
And the thing is, if you want an opponent for Charlotte, Julia's right there.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
That could happen.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, I don't think they'll pull the trigger that early. I don't think Jordan Grace gets called up right away. I think she's still...
Nah.
I think she's going to win the title at Stand and Deliver, and she'll probably get called up after SummerSlam or at the Rumble next year. I don't know.
Yeah, because
I don't... Yeah.
I feel like if they go that route with Jordan, she's either going to drop it to Jada or she could drop it to a potential. Who else is?
I was going to say Zarya, but
I was going to say Zarya, but I thought that would be probably too soon. But at the same time, who knows?
who knows? Dude, like...
Who knows?
And that's the thing. I could see, because it's gonna happen. Jada Parker's gonna end up being champion by this year. It's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely.
I think that's gonna be the feud of the summer. Is gonna be Jordan Grace and Jada Parker going towards SummerSlam or whatever the NXT show is. I think Jada Parker wins it by heat wave, if anything. Because I see Jordan Grace getting the same treatment as Stephanie and Julia. I don't think she's staying in NXT that long.
Right.
She's going to get the call up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, speaking of that, going back, we're going in at a whole different gear. Going back to Randy Orton's situation.
Mm-hmm.
Another name that's been teased, and he's been teasing it himself, Joe Hendry.
Didn't he get hurt?
No.
It was
still
something about
Dread Mania?
Because apparently he has a booth, or he's going to be at WWE World. He has photo ops at WWE World. And it's legit. Like, he's going to be at WWE World.
And that's the thing. Like, that could be history in the making. Like, Joe Hendry, the first TNA guy at a WrestleMania.
As TNA World Champion?
Listen, I'm for it.
Like he says, he'll show up anytime, anywhere. You say his name and he appears.
Yeah. Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Henry. I believe in Joe
But imagine the pop that man gets in Vegas.
I mean,
I'm sure Joe Hendry's going to go and take the loss. He ain't beating Randy Orton.
Facts.
And that's more exposure for TNA.
Hell yeah. But Joe Hendry has been cryptic of late because I don't know if he is hurt, but he did say he hasn't been defending his championship, and he said, you shouldn't be a champion if you're not defending the championship. And it sounded like he wanted to relinquish it. It sounded like his contract's up, and he's probably getting that call from WWE. I don't know. Maybe that could be the route, because I don't know if TNA has a show this week. I don't know.
I haven't kept up with TNA as much, so
because I think Sacrifice is like later this month. I don't think it's going to be this week. But yeah, back to the women's match. I see. Again, it's the feeling of wanting, but knowing it's going to happen. I want Rhea Ripley to get the title back, but I know Bianca's going to end up winning, turning heel, and off to the races.
Yeah. And she's going to be putting her ass on everybody, slapping everybody with her motherfucking braid.
Because I can see Io being the first chase for Bianca. Because I can also see Rhea Ripley winning Money in the Bank.
Which, by the way, can somebody tell Io not to wear that outfit on Raw again?
You shut your mouth.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Stop it, Io.
You
Stop.
shut your
Y'all
mouth. You
gonna
shut your
have
mouth.
to
Came
explain.
out, all we saw is
this
Asian
to
cheeks. I was
me.
like, my wife was like, oh no, she really got her cheeks out. I'm like, she got her cheeks.
Look,
Meanwhile,
y'all
no
see
doesn't
it.
get the hype.
Y'all see it. I don't know what it is.
No, you stay lost in the sauce, sir.
I don't know.
All right. Main event time. The cream of the crop, the one we've been waiting for.
The crop of the cream.
Cody Rhodes, John
Cody.
Cena.
Cena bot.
Cody.
There's only going to be two outcomes to this.
Mm-hmm.
Both of them being caused by legends.
Mm-hmm.
Cena's getting 17 because of The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
Or
Mm-hmm.
we're going to get an Endgame Part 2.
Yep. We're definitely. I feel like we're going to get an Endgame Part 2.
Cena and The Rock are going to work on Cody. Glass shatters.
Eating some booty cheeks.
And you get Stone Cold, since he is going to be in Vegas for the Hall of Fame. He's going to be there. Stone Cold's going to come help Cody. Cody beats Cena.
And like I said, depending on if Rock poke his head in that triple threat.
But
come out and like, no.
if Stone Cold doesn't help Cody, I can also see where Juju's saying Roman is going to do the unthinkable and help Cody. Because if everyone remembers Bad Blood,
Mm-hmm.
Roman owes Cody. No. Remember when Cody teamed up with Roman and he said, I think he told Roman, you owe me. Roman is going to take Cody up on that and say, here you go. I owed you. Now you give me what's mine.
Mm-hmm. You give me a shot at that title or I'm going to smack your mom, nigga.
Shot at the title, Seth screws over Roman. See, that's what I mean. That's either way, we're getting Endgame Part 2 with this match. I don't see it as a clean, down the middle type match. I don't see Cena beating Cody clean. Some fuck finish is going to happen. Some overbooked shit is going to happen. And I see The Rock coming out, controlling that whole fucking match. Like, we haven't even seen The Rock since then, so we don't even know what the fuck he's doing.
Right.
Rock gonna come out there holding his neck, talking about, yo, this no DQ, bitch. You count, I fucking fire you, bitch. You better not disqualify nobody, bitch. I fucking fire you, bitch.
Cody's wrestling the Invisible Man.
Wait, we can't say that. We're gonna hurt John's feelings.
Who gives a fuck?
Yeah, motherfucker.
Who gives a fuck?
He wrestling John Cena.
Took a joke and said y'all couldn't see me. Well, nigga, ain't nobody tell you to say you can't see me. Because we can clearly see you, motherfucker.
Haz, what were you about to say?
Oh, Cody Rumble, John Cena Elite.
But this, I don't know. This is a match I could see going either way.
Yep.
I want Cena to get 17. I want Cody to beat Cena. But that also looms the question from how we talked about Gunther and Jay. If Cody or Cena wins that title, where do we go? If Cena wins, Cody is going to be back on the chase. But outside of Cody, who's going to go after Cena? Who's going to be balls enough to go after Cena and The Rock? Orton for Backlash. Okay, cool. But if Cody wins, what do you do with Cena? Where do we go with Cody?
Exactly. That's why Cena got to win, smack everybody mom, and say I'm John Cena.
You do the smart thing because you have John Cena there. If he loses, you prolong Cena and Cody until
SummerSlam?
you have a wellest. No, I wouldn't say SummerSlam. Probably until like Crown Jewel.
But that's close to Cena's retirement. And you would have Cody end his title reign at a Saudi show?
No.
I thought Crown Jewel was like sooner.
No, Crown Jewel is usually in like November. It's always like 2 or 3 weeks before Survivor Series.
Well, yeah, you're right.
And the thing is,
I know they have like another show close to like SummerSlam ish.
Yeah, which is
or you do it, or you probably prolong it until probably Backlash.
The month after.
Yeah, you just prolong it to one more PLE and then kill it right then and there.
But would you have Cody just lose it at a B plus PLE? Or you have Cody win it back?
No. I'm saying if Cody wins at Mania, John Cena is going to do his best to get 17, but he doesn't get 17.
He's going to keep chasing.
He's going to keep chasing until, like I said, if you prolong it until Backlash, kill it right then and there, and then move forward with the next one, whoever that may be, you do it that way.
But that also leaves the question of Randy Orton.
Who's going to... Well, then you bring in Orton.
If Cena wins, outside of Cody, Orton's right there. Because you're going to get Orton in his hometown at Backlash.
Yeah, and the same thing with Cody.
Cody's not from St. Louis.
I mean, no, that's what I'm saying. As far as
But again, I don't see Cena carrying it for long. It's going to be a month or two. Because Cena's not going to be on TV as much, and we don't want another Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns situation where he's never on TV. But with Cena, I say he drops it to Orton the next month. However, you have Cody win, completely figure out what you're going to do with Cena for the rest of the year. Whether if he's going to go after Punk, if he's going to go after Roman, or if he's going to eventually turn on The Rock. I don't know. But you need to find another opponent for Cody, which could also be Randy Orton. But again, that's booking yourselves into a corner where it's babyface versus babyface, unless Orton turns. Because I could also see the SmackDown after Mania where Cody's celebrating. Out comes The Rock. I'm not done with you. And he gets Randy Orton.
And then he slapped his mom.
Why he slapping his mom?
I feel like Orton siding with The Rock would be overkill.
Why not? I mean, sure, because The Rock's fucking getting his team of Avengers. He's going to be petty as shit from last year.
Well, here, I would say Orton has a reason to turn heel without The Rock, and
of course,
this goes back to Kevin Owens,
right?
So, of course, if you're talking about favors being the theme of WrestleMania, Cody owes Orton, so to speak, when it comes to Kevin Owens.
But if you want to look at it, Cody owes a lot of people.
Yeah, that's true.
He owed me.
Cody Rhodes is essentially the Paul Heyman. He owes a lot of people right now.
Yeah, he owed me about $5.
So you might as well, like I said, you might as well say like if the best bet is to have Cody retain.
Yeah.
Cody retain that Mania, retain that Backlash. Then the next contender pulls off the cat in the hat and beats Cody. Therefore, whatever happens after that.
I mean, I want, like I said, this is a match where it can go either way. We don't know who's winning. But seeing how it's been booked, as of late, Cody's been carrying the feud.
Yeah.
And Cody got the last laugh on Cena by giving him Crossroads.
Right.
Which Cena's gonna be on SmackDown before Mania.
I got something to say about that.
If Cena doesn't get one final word against Cody on SmackDown, that is going to be a sign where I think Cena is going to beat Cody.
I get it, but at the same time, to go back to your point with Cena winning the championship, like even if Cena wins the championship and then turn around and drop it the next PLE, you would probably want to see that be longer than just a month. And the only reason why I say that is because if you take that from Mania to Backlash to an even bigger show overseas, imagine the pop or the revenue that's going to be with John Cena as champion against a contender who's 9 times out of 10 probably going to beat him.
However, I did notice a couple things during this feud. I did notice this. Cody is not advertised for the Raw after Mania.
Okay. Cena.
But I'm thinking it's because Cody's a SmackDown guy. So that's different.
Right.
Another thing that I did hear that I can understand this theory is if they rehash the Punk and Cena thing. Not Punk versus Cena. What I'm saying is, what if Cena actually wins and quote unquote actually leaves with the title and retires? You crown a new champion and you go back down that undisputed route where Cody wins the championship and you get Cody and Cena part 2 going into SummerSlam. Where Cena comes back and says
versus champion.
Right, where Cena comes back and says, I'm the real champion. You're just a fake. Okay. But Cena loses to Cody, and Cody's the rightful champion going in the next year's Mania, where he'll eventually face a CM Punk. I can see that happening, but I feel like that's overkill.
Right.
Because you're going to do all that to give Cody another title, then why the fuck have him drop it in the first place? And that's just going to be killing everyone else's momentum on the way. Which, in turn, if that were to happen, that's where I could see the crowd turning on Cody.
Right.
Because...
Now, I want to go back to that Crossroads on SmackDown real quick. That's how, to me, I kind of knew Cena was winning because we've been watching this thing called wrestling for a long time, and we already know when somebody get hit with a finisher by that said person, they ain't winning. I even applied that shit to Taker. I was like, dog, don't hit Taker with your signature move or a finisher before man. That nigga gonna get acclimated to it. What happens? Nigga get acclimated to it, kick the fuck out.
It's also another thing where if the babyface or heel is holding the title prior to the pay-per-view, they're not winning. And Jey Uso's done that. He ain't winning. Cody gave Cena the Crossroads, but ended up holding his title up in the end. That could be a sign where Cena's winning. But again, we either get Endgame Part 2 or we get a Las Vegas screw job. Because another thought in my head where Cena puts Cody in the STF and The Rock rings the bell. Pulls a whole fucking Vince McMahon situation.
That could be a possibility.
That is where I can see the crowd completely going ape shit on Cena and Rock.
And this goes back to the whole thing in Vegas 2 years ago. Well, no, not even 2 years ago. I'm sorry, last year.
Oh, with the press conference?
Uh-huh. Because in Rock's mind, Cody screwed Rock out of a main event with Roman.
Yes.
Mhm.
Therefore, in turn, in Vegas, Rock screws Cody out of the title.
And that is where I can see Cena winning the title. Do I see... I see Cody and Rock leaning towards SummerSlam.
Yeah, because Rock loves New York.
Has you're
New
on...
Jersey.
I can't... Are you talking, Has? I couldn't hear him for a second.
Yep, can't hear you.
Nope. I think you were better off without your headphones. Technical difficulties.
Can you hear me now?
There we go.
There you go.
What were you
Good.
saying?
It's all because Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes had a couple of libations on his tour bus.
Do you feel him, sir? I don't know, Jay. Where we at in the story?
Everyone getting their hustle on. Everybody hustling hard.
All in all, for the main event of the show, again, I want Cody to win, but I see Cena getting 17. So I'm picking. We could be wrong on all our predictions, including this one. Yep. I'm picking Cena to get 17.
I'm picking the Reverend to take up a collection.
I gotta go with Cena bot.
And
I'm going with the Negro icon, Cody Raheem Rhodes.
It's so Negro icon, Cody Rhodes. Doing it for the culture machine.
So
backs it down. He even knows how to break hair. The kitty puts his thing regularly. It's Coral. His father's dead.
He's still going.
Shut the fuck up.
The sweeter is the juice. Sweeter.
He left. He left. He turned off his camera. Fucking asshole. First he turned off the lights and now he's turning off his camera.
He be like, right.
There he goes. There he goes. So that's our WrestleMania card. Again, we can be 0-14 when it comes to our predictions. We don't know.
Maybe.
Maybe
not.
We never know. And like Juju said, Triple H could literally pull the wool over our eyes and just surprise the shit out of us. We don't know.
Go hit us with the Dave Chappelle. Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha, bitch.
And then he going, do the press conference and talk about the highest gate and whatnot.
Highest gate.
Which I still haven't found my glasses for that too.
It was a good Mania. We did a lot better than last year's Mania.
We set the record for the highest gate and
highest grossing gate in history, which is broken every fucking month.
Yeah,
because
fans of Tourney Time, I'm sorry I've been lacking on my Triple H. I don't have my glasses.
You're fine.
If I come across a new pair, I got y'all.
You're fine, Triple E. You're fine.
Triple E is crazy.
So that does it for the WrestleMania prediction show. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Yeah.
Or just let us know in general if you feel the same way about how we feel.
Yeah.
Be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify, YouTube, the whole shebang.
Yeah.
Check out our latest video, which is the greatest WrestleMania matches, and the one before that, the greatest on the mic.
Yeah.
But we got a whole spew of collection that we've been doing. We've been on a roll, on a tear as of late in episodes. So please support the podcast any way you can. Yeah. All right. And on that note, take it away, Juju.
The time has come for us to go. We had so much fun entertaining y'all. Until the next time, until the next show, we will see you. When we see you, we going on break because it's going to be WrestleMania weekend. I'm about to be fine. Watching that shit. Oh my God. Yeet.
And stay tuned for an all new episode of Married with Children.
And with that, thank y'all for tuning in. Enjoy WrestleMania weekend. And what he said, yeet.
My dick's hard.
Yo.